back to my channel. In today's video I'm going to be chatting, getting ready with you whilst telling you girls' names that we like but might not be using. I have got my list here, so let's get into it. So the first thing I'm going to be doing is using my Aveeno cream, again like I mentioned in the last video, because of my eczema. So all I do is get a little pump and just rub that into my skin. So the first names that are quite similar, I'm just going to say all three of them. So we've got Haven, Devon and Raven. So I liked these, but Charlie didn't. I spent such a long time going through like names to see which ones I like the most, but it's got to go with his surname as well. So none of them really worked, and they weren't any that he really liked or that we narrowed down into a final list, because we have got a name. But it might change, because I did mention that we had a name, but that one is on this list, but I'm not going to say what it is just in case we do end up using it. But yeah, he just didn't really like them, and no one else really did, to be honest. So yeah, the next name that I have on the list is Alaska. That is a very, very out there name, don't get me wrong. All these names on this list are actually very out there and unique, uncommon, like every other name, like my name, or I don't know. I'm not going to say any names because I don't want to offend anyone, but for me, I wanted names that you don't hear of that often. So the name that we've chosen isn't that uncommon. It's quite a common name, but I haven't heard it be used in a very long time. So yeah, Charlie didn't like that name either. Next, I'm going to be going in my hydrocortisone cream, again around my nose, because it's started to flare up again because of the weather, really. So all I do is just that and then blend it in. So the next name which I have on my list is Bay. It's just a simple name, but then I was thinking when she's older she's going to want like quite a more mature name. Like I was thinking more office based. I don't really know how to really explain it, but I just didn't think that would be one of the best choices for a name. It's cute for a baby, but not really when she gets older. The next name is Fawn, spelled F-A-W-N. This name is, I don't really know. I like it, but I just don't think I'd be able to use it. Again, it's an out there name. Some of the names that I've chose, they suit a baby more than they would like an adult. So I wanted to have a name that fits both. So again, that name doesn't really work for what I want. Next, I'm just going to be using this. I don't really know how to use it. All I know is that I use it like along there, but whatever. The next name that I have is Aubrey. I do really, really like this name, but again, it's not a name that Charlie liked, and obviously I want to have a name that we're both going to agree on. So again, that's really the only reason, because Charlie's being quite stubborn with the names. Very hard to both of us to come to terms on a name together. So yeah, that is not it. The next name is Azalea, spelled A-Z-A-L-I-A. So both really like this name, but I want to have a name that my mum and dad are going to like too. I know it's got nothing to do with them, but I want them to have as much liking to the names that we do. We were thinking of like nicknames. This was a really close to the name we were going to pick, but we decided not to go ahead with the name because I don't know, you've got to think about you like calling the baby. Oh, can you think of yourself yelling that name in the park? Do you know what I mean? So I just wanted to have a nice name, but I guess that is not it. Okay, so this name is a unisex name, and you hear it mainly for boys. The name is Blake. My dad liked this name, but again, I wasn't too sure. Charlie didn't like it, and I wasn't too sure. So if we both didn't like it, we can't really have a name that we don't like, because that does defeat the whole purpose. So that is not something that we wanted to go ahead with. On my chaplets, I'm just using some Vaseline because they are really, really bad if you can't tell. Next name I found on Safari when it was like a baby uncommon name list. That's where literally I found all these names from. But this name is Tessie. No one liked the name. Now I think about it, I don't really like the name either, but when you're going through a list of names, you're like, oh, I really like that. but then you don't really think about everything that has to go along with a name. You've got to think of all the positives and consequences to having a name. So can they get bullied for having that name, or what are nicknames that people can make out the name? It's really, really hard. So I have 5 more names on my list, and the next one is Zylah, spelled Z-Y-L-A-H. I thought this would be nice because it's got a bit of a mix of my name in there. It's just not something that we were looking for. It was a bit of a mid name, like wasn't really sure if we were going to use it or not, and we decided not to, just because it's not something that we can see ourselves. I know this is actually the reason for all of the names, that either Charlie doesn't like it, or my parents, I want them to have a liking, or we can't see ourselves calling that name in the park or something. But we just want to be more realistic with the names. And now we're coming on to our top 3 names. So we had 4 names in our tops. 3 of them obviously decided not to. So starting off with Charlie's favourite, which is Quinn. I really like this name, he really likes this name, but I don't know, we don't really have any negatives for any of our top names. We just decided on our name because it's cute. I don't know, it works for adult and baby, so yeah. And then coming on to our second favourite name, so both in the middle of our top 4, is Alora. So we both really, really love the name Alora, but then Charlie decided he didn't like it anymore. But not that, it's the fact I didn't want her to have the name Laura for short, because I'm being quite picky with the names and I don't really like it as much. So yeah, that's the only negative we can really give towards that name, besides Charlie deciding last minute not to like the name. And the final name that we have on this list, which is my favourite, and it's very, very uncommon name. I haven't heard anyone with this name, but I have heard people say they want to name their child this name. It is Sailor. Everyone liked the name, to be honest, for Sailor, but I don't know. I just think the name that we have at the moment, unless it changes, is a lot, I don't know, more fitting to what we wanted and what we were looking for in a name. I do really love the name and I might use it in the future. Like I said, any of the names on this list, we will probably be using, or there's a chance it will be using, but it really depends, unless the name that we like now changes. I just want to apologise for the amount of voice cracks I've had during this, and you can see me bouncing up and down. It's because I'm currently sitting on my ball, and I'm very out of breath, and I've got to go to my hospital appointment in a couple of hours for an emergency thing, but it's honestly completely fine. So yeah, I am actually filming this on the date it needs to be uploaded, so I need to go edit this video. And thank you all for watching, and I'll see you next week. Bye.
Down, yeah. I've been feeling so